now you are ready to play the game. Now choosing the first player. The instructions say, whoever was born closest to the Willamette Valley is the first player to go. In my case, my children were born in the Willamette Valley since I live in Oregon, and so we rolled the dice just to see who would be going. So we picked who we're going to go first. So if you go by the rules, whoever's born closest, and they're going to lay down a trail card. They have an option. You can lay down a supply card or a trail card. Now, at the beginning of the game, there's no reason you should play a trail card because there's no calamities out, and that's why you would lay down a supply card. So the first player laid that down. There's nothing on the card, so it passes now to the second player. The next player on the left will go. They lay down a card. Now, the card has to line up just like this. You can't play it off-centered. You have to have it line up, and then you read what's on here. It says, roll an even number to ford the river. Roll a 1 and die by drowning. Uh-oh, we have a 1. So that was Sean, who was just playing. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to mark Sean. He drowned in the river. He was player 2. And then we're going to write on the back, from my last game, it didn't get erased yet. So here we have Sean. Barely left, because obviously we just barely started this game and we've already had a player die. So we'll set that aside, and so now we're on to our third player, and they're going to play a card. And if you look at this card here, if you try to put it so you can read it, it doesn't fit, but you can turn it around. And when you turn it around, it fits just fine, and it says press the space bar to continue. Draw a calamity card. So we're going to draw the calamity card, and this will go in front of that player until it's resolved. And this calamity card says starvation. Survive another day with 1 food card. 2 rounds of food, play without a food card, and you die of starvation. So what you need here is the player has to play, someone has to play a food card, either that player or another player before 2 rounds go by, and a round is each person having a turn. So now that we're down to 2 players, there's when you play a supply card, you can play 1 supply card for your turn, but if you're down to 2 players, there's a special clause in the rule that you can play up to 2 supply cards on your turn. So we're going to go ahead and go to the next person. And that person can choose to play a trail card, or they can play a supply card. And so in this case, they're going to go ahead and play a trail card. Now the next player goes, and let's say that player decides, you know, there's only 2 in the game anyway, and we're back to Dawn playing, and she says, I don't have a food card, but I want to make sure that I'm taken care of. So Dawn turns in 2 cards of her choice, and she can trade it, or the 2 players can each turn in 1 card, because you remember we're working as a team. So anyhow, 2 cards can be traded for any 1 card of the choice. So they're going to trade medicine and the spare parts, and they're going to get a food card. And when you are sharing with players, only 1 player gets the card, so you're going to have to be careful who you choose to get the card. So that's what Dawn's going to do. And for her turn, so trading in cards doesn't cost you a turn. For her turn, she's going to go ahead and turn in a supply card. And that supply card gets returned back to the storehouse, and the calamity is now removed from the table because it's been resolved. So we're back to John. And John, he is going to play, a calamity card. So it says press the space bar, draw a calamity card. So we're going to draw a calamity card. And it says, you have died of dysentery. So now we have John dead. And that is not good for this party, because now we're down to 1 player, and most games don't go out that quick. So again, we're going to write John. We're giving him an obituary, a little eulogy on the back, and we'll move on. Now there's one important thing that that I neglected to mention. When a player dies, all their trail cards are turned in, and then the remaining cards that they have from their supply is then willed to another player, up to 2 of them. So if they have 4 in their hand, they're going to discard 2 of them, but then they can will 2. And they can will it to 1 player or 2 players. In this case, we only have Dawn, so Dawn's going to will her, or John is going to will his cards to Dawn. And so Dawn's going to go ahead and continue in the game. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to go ahead and form a stack. And so there is our stack. And she will now lay down another card. Unfortunately, it's a calamity card. And it says there's a thief. And so discard 1 supply card. So now she gets to choose whichever supply card she has. Had she had no supply cards and there was another player in the game, then it would be randomly draw from another player so that a supply card was done. So you continue on. Say you get to the next card and you decide that you want to lay down a town, or there's also fort cards. How the town cards work is you can play them and it doesn't matter. There's no road going in and out. Any road will fit, is fine. So a town will allow you to collect 1 supply card, and a fort will allow you to collect 2 supply cards. And that's the only way that you really collect supply cards in this game, other than trading, is these cards. And there's only a total of 4 of them, 2 town cards and 2 fort cards in the game. So use them sparingly, use them well, and use them wisely. So we'll go ahead and we're continuing. The next person, which is still Dawn because she's the only player, will then go and lay down a trail card. Now so Dawn is playing and it's her turn, and she can do a supply card, which she has no calamities out right now, so there's no need to do a supply card. Her other option is to put down a trail card. She only has 1 card left in her hand right now, and so this doesn't fit, and you can't lay it this way, and you turn it around, it still doesn't fit. So her only option is to draw 1 card, and then it goes on to the next turn. And so in this case, the card she drew doesn't fit either, and so she would have to draw another card. And so then on her next turn, she could then play that card. And so this game continues until 5 more cards are laid out, and then you stack them up to form a set. So say we had another card put down, it was a fort, and she collected her 2 supply cards of her choice. Then you would pick up these cards, put them on over, and then you would continue on. The game ends when you have completed your 10th stack of 5. So because I have limited camera room, I've kind of stacked them up. So here's stack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When the 5th card is completed on that 10th stack, then you have arrived in Oregon, and everyone playing wins the game. So that is how the game is played, and I hope you enjoy this game. We've had fun playing as a family.